You ever feel like you're doing everything right with your money, but you just keep hitting this invisible wall? It's so frustrating. Okay, let's dive into this because we're about to look at a perspective that might just flip everything you thought you knew about financial struggles on its head.
Yeah, this is the question, right? It's the one that just gnaws at you. You work hard, you try to be smart about it, but that feeling of being completely stuck just won't budge. And it's so easy to start thinking, what am I doing wrong? Is it me? But what if the answer is something you'd never expect? Get this, the core idea we're unpacking today is that those money blocks, they aren't random. They might have been put there on purpose to protect you. I know that sounds pretty out there, right? But stick with me. Let's break down what that could actually mean. So yeah, this is a complete 180 on how we normally think about this. Instead of seeing a financial block as some kind of failure, this perspective asks a totally different question. What if it's actually a form of divine care? And let's be super clear about this. This idea is not saying you're meant to be stuck or limited forever. Not at all. The point is that there might be a bigger picture, one that's all about the right timing, about building your character, and most importantly, about keeping you safe. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of this. How can something that feels so much like a punishment actually be a form of protection? Well, the term for this is a loving limitation. And yeah, it sounds like a total contradiction, but there's this really powerful analogy that makes it all click. Think about it like this. You would never, ever hand a toddler a set of sharp power tools, right? Of course not. Now, the child might scream and cry because they want the shiny, noisy thing. They feel restricted. But you, as the parent, know you're not punishing them. You're protecting them. This idea suggests our financial blocks can work in the exact same way.
So what exactly are we being protected from? Well, money is an amplifier. It takes whatever is already inside you and just turns the volume way up. So if you've got some unresolved issues with fear or pride, or you're a bit impulsive, a sudden pile of cash isn't going to fix that. It's going to make it 1,000 times worse. So in this view, the block isn't holding you back. It's holding you together until you're ready for the weight of it.
And this really shows the whole paradigm shift. On one side, you have how it feels, like a punishment, a hard limit, a personal failure. But on the other side, you have what might actually be going on. It could be protection, it could be love, and it could all be a matter of perfect timing.
So this brings up the next big question, doesn't it? If this is all about being ready, what does ready even look like? And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with a certain number in your bank account. It's all about having a certain kind of character. It's about developing what's called the character of capacity. So what does that look like in real life? Well, it means you can receive good things without losing your peace. You can hold on to resources without losing your humility. You can see an increase in your life without abandoning your core values. And you can give generously without being afraid. You're essentially becoming a strong, stable container that won't crack under the weight of a blessing. And you know what's fascinating? This exact character profile, this blueprint for steadiness, generosity, and trust, it's laid out in detail in a specific text, Psalm 112. It's presented as more than just a poem. It's like a spiritual roadmap for building that internal structure needed to handle blessings well. This brings us to the real action item here. If a money block is a protective lock, then there has to be a key, right? But the key isn't some magic trick to get more money. The key is the tool you use to build that internal structure we've been talking about. It really all comes down to this one question. If the block is a lock, what's the key? And the answer is a total shift in focus. The goal isn't just about provision, getting the stuff. The goal is formation, becoming the kind of person who can handle that provision with wisdom and peace. And this is where Psalm 112 comes right back into the picture. It's framed as the designated key. But again, it's not a magic spell for riches. Think of it as a tool for your own formation, a way to actively build that internal architecture that's so crucial. This changes everything about how you might approach prayer or scripture. You're no longer just asking for an outcome. You're actively participating in your own growth. You're basically signaling, hey, I'm not just asking for stuff. I'm accepting the invitation to be shaped into someone who has the capacity for it.
Okay, let's bring all this together now. It's so important to understand that this spiritual framework doesn't ignore the very real, practical money challenges we all have. Actually, it's designed to give you the inner strength to finally deal with them.
Look, we all know our money blocks come from real places, right? Our upbringing, financial trauma, getting stuck in debt cycles, or just fear we've learned over time. This spiritual work isn't a substitute for taking practical steps. It's the anchor. It's what allows you to face the budget, the debt plan, or whatever you need to do with a sense of calm and purpose instead of panic and dread.
So as we wrap this up, this whole perspective can really be boiled down to 3 core principles. The first one is this: protection before permission. The idea that your safety is the #1 priority and access is granted only when you're truly ready to handle it. The second principle flows right from that. Blessing requires capacity. You can't pour a gallon of water into a tiny cup. If the container isn't strong enough, the blessing can't be held. It's all tied to your internal strength and maturity.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important principle of all. Formation is the key. This whole time, the answer might not have been to chase the provision. It's to focus on your own personal and spiritual growth, trusting that the provision will follow the formation.
So we'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. What if that financial wall you've been fighting against, the one that causes so much stress and frustration, what if it isn't your enemy? What if, all this time, your greatest block has actually been your greatest protection?